Y'all, today I'm going to be doing the 1K special of the Q&A. Sorry this video took so long, it's because I had to crunch everything with the CapCut ban looming over. Well, now it's extended for like 75 more days just for people who don't know, so we've still got our CapCut. And then I will be answering the top 10 questions that a lot of people have commonly asked me, and then 3 questions that were asked within the post that I did. Yeah, the Q&A post. So here it is. I'll be answering from 10 all the way down to the first most common question that I've been asked. So here we go. The first question that a lot of people, well, not that many people, but just like a lot of people from time to time ask me when they first watch my content is, are you a boy or a girl? Now this one comes up a lot, and I often say like I'm bi-gendered, which is, if you don't know, I'm not gonna explain it, but search it up if you feel like it. So, but usually in like my YouTube, my bio says like they, them, and no, I do go by any, it's just I really don't care, but it's supposed to say any, but YouTube doesn't have that option. How fun. Next question is, what got you into WAF? Now this one's a long story, so I'm just gonna sum it up in a short, condensed nutshell. So when I was little, I wasn't much of a reader, so my mother, and I'm pretty sure like a majority of you guys have probably had this when your parents are just like, oh yeah, you need to read more, so here are some books that are probably not interesting for you, but I'm gonna make you read them anyways. And when I was sorting through like the books that she got me, I didn't really like any of them because the majority of them either had like a fantasy with humans and it just did not look fun. I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, but like this was mini-me, honestly. And then the rest was just history, which, who reads history nowadays? But the one that really caught my eye was Wings of Fire, and it was specifically the Dragonette Prophecy. And letting you know, this was like when I was 4 or 5, during the time of like 2012, aka when Wings of Fire Book 1 released. So when I read it, I fell in love with it immediately. I just read that thing 24/7. Even during school in my free time, I would just sit in a corner and just read it. So once I finished the Dragonette Prophecy, I was excited to read book 2, but it wasn't released until like months later, so I had to like impatiently wait until I came back from school and got like book 2 on my bed, and then I was just happy to get it. So that's how I got into Wings of Fire, and I'm like, I guess I'm the granny of, I wouldn't say the granny of Wings of Fire because I'm pretty sure like a majority of people also read Wings of Fire in 2012, but hey, you get a veterans discount along with me of Wings of Fire. Alright, next question is, what made you start content? Now, I started content way later with my second channel, which will be another question that will come up soon that people have asked me, but when I first started, it just started with like animatics and all that, and then when I remembered, I'd watch a lot of videos about WAF Beta, and I especially see my cousin play it. I saw her play it when Scavengers came out, and god, that was like ages ago. So when I finally got my Roblox account, because I didn't really consider getting Roblox until like last year. So when I got my Roblox account, this was the first game that I did, and I decided when the Ages update came out, I decided, okay, it's time for me to do my first actual video, because my first actual videos were privated because they were so bad. But if you guys ever want to see them, let me know, but I highly doubt it. So when I did my first video where I actually like talked, then that's when I just started content. I didn't really like my voice, but as I've done more and more recordings of having listened to my voice, I just got used to it. Alright, next question is, are there some YouTube tips that you'd like to give? I have 2. One, just be true to yourself when it comes to content creating. It's gonna be tough, and it looks tougher than it looks. Right now I'm at like a tough point in content creating where it's just subs are like bouncing and the algorithm just sucks, and also you just gotta face that the algorithm sucks, because when YouTube has this thing, I don't know why it's so stupid, but if you post something that's not related, like let's say I post something Warrior Cats that's not related to Wings of Fire, it will not recommend. Aiden is stupid. So yeah, it's just kind of tough because especially when I'm hitting that low point, which is why I've been like so late on videos because of that low point. But just be true to yourself in the end. Next question is, what other content do you want to make? I don't know what they specifically mean by that, but if they mean like what other things do I want to do besides like Wings of Fire, I guess I want to do more of voice acting, because there's one thing that I've always wanted to do, and it's do like the Willow Heart Studios project. Well, Willow Heart's not doing it anymore, it's just another YouTuber, but I've always wanted to do like one character in the Dragon Dub, specifically Foe Slayer and Pirate, because I can make my voice low, so I can just do a quote like, "The note of a tip, never anger an animus," something like that. But I always wanted to get into voice acting because I always do my voices every single time, like I'm with friends or just on a Roblox voice chat. Like a lot of people say, you gotta be a voice actor, kid, but who knows. But that's mostly what I want to do, and I guess more art as well, because I like to show more creativity. I actually do have an Insight series, which I'm kind of going to say right now, I don't think Disney and Webtoons would want to touch it with a 30-foot pole because of how violent it is. Just think of it as Danganronpa and Your Turn to Die mixed together with a bit of Hunger Games and my own craziness shenanigans. That's all you need to know. Yay! Next question is, what happened to the Book of Bill and the animatic vids? So this is a long story. The Book of Bill video was kind of late, and I was running into so many issues with it because I guess like the app that I was using before CapCut was, I think it was DaVinci Resolves, yeah. So I was trying to use DaVinci Resolves because I heard it was like really good, and yeah, it was good, but it was running into so many problems, and I guess it wasn't able to like support the amount of files that I had, so it just like randomly deleted files from me, and it also like messed up the audio. And then when people were making like the videos already, I was like so far behind to the point where I was just like, okay, you know what, this is getting too much. And the vids, the animatic vids, specifically the Dust Shade one, was like wiped out when the CapCut ban happened, because I was completely out of the blue the day before the ban happened, so I never knew it was gonna get banned until like that day. So I tried to save it, but before I could save it, that's when it got banned. So I lost all progress of it, so I couldn't like duplicate it, I couldn't save it. So that's what happened. But I mean, I have 2 more animatics that are coming up, which for those who were able to guess in game, congrats. But the 2 is a Whiplash one, and shadowed them with the song Echo and Killing Butterflies with Whiplash. So yeah. Next question is, what do you do on your second channel? Now this one on my second channel, it's not technically a second channel, it was my first ever one before I did this one. You could technically consider this channel a second channel, but I consider this one more of a first channel. So in my first old channel, I mostly did like dumb animatics of Wings of Fire, and you can see how bad my art was, but it was pretty decent. I mean, I got really good views on it, specifically like my Fierce Teeth one. I was actually really proud of that. I think I was camping one time when I posted that, and then when I woke up I just saw it like reach so many views. It was crazy. But somehow like the account I was using booted me out. I don't know why, but it booted me out and I could never access it again, so it was just tough. And then that's when I made the choice to start off fresh, unfortunately, and then just do all this, which I'm not gonna lie, put me in a good place. I got decent viewing, and plus I was able to start off fresh and actually do what I really wanted to do. So that was fun, but the second/first channel will always be a memory. I still wish I could access it though. Last 3 questions. How old is each of your main OCs? So Shadowloom is pretty old. She dated back to 2012, literally when the Dragonite Prophecy came out. Lore 2 dated back to, I think, think when Moon Rising came out around there. Yeah. And then Emmy was not really old. He was quite recent, actually. He's actually a year old. And then Parker was the youngest because he was made when I did the fish video. Next question is, how long have you been a Warrior Cats fan? Now, this one was more asked when I was in Warrior Cats more than Wings of Fire, specifically the Warrior Cats Ultimate Edition, but I've been a Warrior Cats fan for at least a year now, so I've kind of been catching up with the books. I'm currently on The Last Hope, halfway of The Last Hope, and I'm kind of reading the super editions of Shadow of the Clans with Maple Shade's Vengeance, Goose Feather's Curse, and then Ravenpaw's Farewell. So those are the ones that I'm starting off with, so no spoilers for me. Thank you for the audio, so I had to restart with this one. So final question, what art pens do you use when you make your shorts? Now this one is a question that I've been asked a lot of times. This one's the most common one. So the type of markers that I use are actually like paint marker pens, and they are my favorite because the best thing about them is that they're so smooth and satisfying to draw, and also if you ever make a mistake or go out of bound, you could always just cover it up with the white one or the other color if it ever like moves out of bound of one line that's supposed to have a different color. And I also use Sharpies too, just in case, because Sharpies do also really make good blending too. So those are the ones that I always use. So if you ever want to like search up paint marker pens, and I'm not trying to advertise them, don't kill me any paint marker pens that are watching this video right now, but those are the ones that I use, just paint marker pens and Sharpies, which are really good and I really highly recommend them, but I don't highly recommend them if you don't have enough money to get them. So here are the 3 questions that have been asked, and I will keep them anonymous just for privacy reasons, but one person asked, here's my question, when did you start art? I'm literally the first comment, lol. Okay, so I first started art when I was like way back in like 5 years old. It was just of course like kindergarten stuff, but I didn't actually like start art fully, like thought, maybe I should do some cool dragons and actually learn how to make humans instead of stick figures. Literally during the time of 2020. I think all the traces of like the art from 2020 all the way to like 2022 were all burned. I'm low-key serious. They were all like burned in a fire. Not in the LA fire, like a bonfire. Chaos. But that's when I started art. I think like I was more best at like dragons, and then humans were just like still in the iffy pile. I was about to give up on humans, and then I just figured out like a cool technique, and I was like, this is nice. I could start with that. And then now I can draw humans and dragons. Yay! And cats. Next question. Do you like puppet dragon videos? Do you make them? I actually have made puppet dragons before, but I don't know where they are. Like, I think they're stuck in my cousin's house because I mostly made them at my cousin's house. But I need to get back into the swing of things of puppet dragons, so if you ever want to see that, if you ever want to see me make any OC that I have that are puppet dragons, do let me know. And the final one, is Bill Cipher your favorite Gravity Falls character? If not, who is? So this was kind of a random one, but actually I did think about it. Back then he wasn't my favorite because I was like little. I was actually terrified of Bill Cipher when I was little. I was a weird kid. I used to be terrified of a lot of things. I was mostly terrified of zombies because of The Walking Dead. But specifically, I was terrified of Bill because when I watched Gravity Falls, it was like so little. Because remember, Gravity Falls came out in 2012, and this is also when like Wings of Fire came out. So it's like when I was really young. And then when I first saw Bill Cipher, I was terrified because I thought one day someone was gonna have like a Journal 3 and make him enter my mind. I know it sounds dumb, but this was like me. So I was just terrified, just be like, no, I don't want Bill Cipher to be in my mind. And then when watching the series again, I realized how cool Bill Cipher is as a villain, and now I have a multiple Gravity Falls merch and a mini Bill Cipher plush, and the book to summon the demon. Anyways, that's gonna be enough question asking for today. I'm sorry if this was like a messy video. I don't have time to edit the audio, and this was kind of more of a time crunch, but if you guys if I missed your questions, let me know down below, and if you guys want to ask more questions, feel free to, because I'm more open to ask questions. Alright, bye y'all.